President Muhammadu Buhari earlier this week, specifically that was on Tuesday, pledged to further deepen gas production and utilization in Nigeria to enhance economic growth of Africa's largest economy. He spoke virtually at the commissioning of the Integrated Gas Handling Facility, IGHF, an LPG storage and dispensing plant in Olobo in Oredo, Edo State. President restated his administration would not relent in its drive to use gas as a catalyst for sustainable economic development of the country. We have details in this report.
At the beginning of the year 2020, President Muhammadu Buhari and his team at the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation made a solemn declaration that gas utilization will be scaled up in the country and further developed to improve the transport system, create jobs as well as boost other economic activities in Nigeria. According to the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, TIMIPRE SYLVA, during the course of this year and going forward into the year 2021, substantial development has taken place and will continue in the oil and gas sector, as can be seen in the expansion of Escravos Lagos gas pipeline, the OB3 gas pipeline, and Ajaokuta Kaduna Kanu gas pipeline, as well as the signing of the final direct investment and the Oredo Integrated Gas Handling Facility. The minister reiterates that the liquefied petroleum gas facility at Olobo in Edo State has the capacity to meet 80% of the nation's demand of the commodity.
This demonstrates, Mr. President,
for the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Melikiari, the conception as well as delivery of the project hinges strategically on NPDC's commitment to support national aspirations for increased domestic gas utilization through the delivery of lean gas for power generation, fuel and feedstock to commercial customers, as well as gas-based industries, and enhanced liquefied petroleum gas utilization among Nigerian households to support energy efficiency and curtail environmental degradation.
This will clearly place us in a position of advantage.
He also explains that the key enablers for the realization of the project are substantially anchored on the strategic vision of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration that sets the growth of the gas sector as one of its cardinal priorities to help harness Nigeria's abundant natural gas reserves to diversify the country's energy portfolio, accelerate economic growth, and increase revenue generation capacity.
What this guarantees for Nigeria is gas supply. We cannot be talking about gas penetration without adequate supply. This plant guarantees supply for Nigeria. Before now, most of our gas supply was coming from LNG and from imports. But with this now, that takes away at least 30% of that supply, and this is the beginning of the development of LPG in Nigeria, and it's a very good development. Pricing has been a challenge. The biggest problem with pricing has been capacity to pay. If I supply gas to a Nigerian to supply power, for example, and they don't pay for the gas, I'll prefer to supply to exports, where I know I can be guaranteed payment. That is what has been happening, but we've been able to resolve that problem, and now the central bank has come up with some kind of arrangement where gas suppliers can be paid. And I believe that from now on, we will see a lot of activities, a lot of movement of gas into the domestic market, because at least they will be guaranteed some payment. And besides that, we've actually set up also a committee to review gas pricing, because we know that gas must be appropriately priced for us to be able to utilize gas properly in Nigeria. So that committee is working, and I'm sure that in a few weeks from now they will come up with a report, and we'll have an appropriate pricing for gas for the domestic market.
Nigerians will not realize today that this country has potentials of delivering prosperity. And the easiest part to that is deepening gas consumption in our country. And we have huge gas resources that we have never focused on. Now today we have a situation where we have an enabling environment that is encouraging investment in gas consumption of gas and delivery of the infrastructure. And there's no better opportunity than what we have today. Today we have this as a focal direction of government to ensure that gas is brought into the domestic market so that we can deliver cheap energy, so that we can conserve our environment, and lastly, but most importantly, create prosperity in our country. This is the message here today. We'll do more. They will continue to unfold. Every one of our gas major infrastructure projects are on course. We're going to deliver them. The AKK is on course. The OBOB3 river crossing will be delivered in February, God willing. And as we do this, you will see expansion of supply into the western and the eastern corridor, and that gas will be waiting. When people come to look for oil in this country, oil companies come here looking for oil. They don't look for gas. As we speak now, nobody have ever drilled a non-associated gas well in this country. And because people see crude oil as ATM, and it's no longer so we know that the value now is in gas. And therefore, we're leading this because, not just because we have to do it, but because there's benefit in it. Our company will make money from this, Nigerians will benefit from it, and others will follow them. So it's not really government leading. This is commerce, this is NNPC. We're making money for Nigerians. We are making money for the 200 billion shareholders of this company.
We already signed a GSA, a gas sales agreement with NNPC and GC. This was signed about 2 years ago. And so we are currently renegotiating those prices in the light of the developments you are now seeing today to bring the prices down. From the current costs, we can deliver better tariffs, electricity tariff, with a better gas price. So if we can get the price that we're currently negotiating with NNPC and GC, our tariff will be much more competitive than what is currently available nationally. And for transport, we're looking at converting transport trucks, getting our transporters to now begin to convert their current vehicles to autogas for gas utilization because of availability, but more importantly, safety and lower prices. And the same thing will go on, or will happen with the industrial complex, because next door is the Oseomo Industrial Park, and on the other side is the Benin Enterprise Park. So we have about 2,000 square hectares of land being made available for domestic production for industries.
The facility is equipped with 8 dispensing arms and storage capacity of 2,000 and 1,550 metric tons of liquefied petroleum gas and propane respectively. Now this translates into an average daily load of about 17 trucks of LPG, 22 trucks of propane, and delivery of methane gas into ELPS that could generate the equivalent of 367 megawatts of power per day.
Speaking more on the potentials of this facility, I had an exclusive chat with key partners in consolidating on the current efforts. The managing director of Nigerian Petroleum Development Company Limited himself, NPDC, engineer Mansur Sambo, says the project will bring about massive economic opportunities, help domesticate the movement of LPG, thereby putting reduction, talking about the traffic gridlock in the Apapa Oshodi Expressway. Take a listen.
The project actually is in tandem with the aspirations of the government. One, to address the issues of deforestation, and then two, to address the issues of large greenhouse gas emission. Why? Because the LPG, though it's a fossil fuel, it's a cleaner fuel than most of the gases or main fuels that we're using, especially for domestic cooking. So the excitement is that we are going to pull out a number of barrels, for instance, of kerosene that would have been used for cooking. It's going to ease up, the demand of wood on the forest. So it has a multiplier effect, not only on the environment, but even the cost of fuel utilization. Imagine if you had to use kerosene, you'll be competing with the aviation industry in order to buy your fuel. But for the LPG, you have no any other, competition for the fuel itself, other than the others that are using it for the general cooking gas. There is also propane that will be produced that will supply some of the chemical industries that are short of propane. So that is how much the impact of the gas facility is going to come in. Apart from the issue of import substitution, because what we produce here will cater for about 20% of the nation's demand for cooking gas. So imagine if you are taking out 20%, of the money that you have taken to go and buy LPG outside. So and whatever we sell here is not going to go back, looking for dollar in order to re-import. It means whatever we sell from here, we are going to use the resources that we realize from here, or the income that we realize from here, for further development within the country. So it's going to not only change the bottom line in terms of income, but even in terms of employment. From these two facilities that we've gone through, at the first instance, we're employing about 220 persons, experts, from within the country, and then others that will support them from the community. So I believe it will have an impact in addressing social unrest when people see employment. These are even direct employment. This apart from other employment that will be generated by our customers and other associates and affiliates as well. The project has already generated substantial amount of employment to this community during the construction period. We spent more than 2 million man-hours on the project, and a large number of the staff that worked here were drawn from the communities. So apart from working for the project, they earned skills that has armed them now to go and work elsewhere and make an income as well. So the multiplier effect are beyond just the income that NPDC will make, but also it touches the lives of the communities around us. In a few years' time, when you come, you will see even a change not only in the lifestyle of the people that are immediately tangential to us, but even other communities that may be a little far away from here.
The MD adds that the new facility will bring about huge returns on investments for Nigeria, of course, at this critical time. This will also strengthen the Naira, create jobs, and at the end of the day, spur economic development with focus on the host community.
We are going to make about 330 metric tons per day of LPG, that is the cooking gas. So about another 300 to 330 of propane. So all the two gases, or the two liquid gases, will be exported to where we are now. So in total, it's about 240,000 metric tons per annum. And Nigeria's consumption is just a little over 1 million metric tons. So that's 20%, or almost close to a quarter of the total, consumption in the country. Yes. When you earn dollar, you want to come here and spend it in Nigeria. So, and to spend in Nigeria, you have to convert it to Naira. So we are already having our Naira requirement. We're not going to go out to start importing again. So what I mean is that when we sell in Naira, we do not need dollar to produce the next ton or kilogram of LPG. So when we sell in Naira, our Naira stays here. So what do we do with it? After we've paid all the expenses that we need to, we'll put it in for more development. So that means the Naira stays here. We'll continue to develop more projects like this one.
Well, you've heard it all there, domesticating gas. Gas is the way to go, particularly at this time.